So we've established Kingpin. Now, when will he and Matt meet? Hey everyone, welcome to Prince of the Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 4 of Daredevil. And last we left off, we've been starting to accomplish, also this is episode 5, not episode 4. We've been starting to not accomplish, but establish Wilson Fisk's character in this series. We see the softer, loving side to him, but we also see the ruthless side. Getting this nuanced look at his character before he really gets involved in the story. Like, obviously, everything that's been going down has kind of, like, trickled down back to him, but he hasn't, like, taken an active role outside of his, like, big, relevancy to the last episode specifically. But that was more just, again, showing what he's like, showing what he's able and willing to do, and how casually and easily it is for him. How casual and easy it is for him to kill. And that kind of leads into Matt's side of things. And we see, like, how this affects Matt, how he's, like, consistently bothered by everything he does, but does it because he genuinely believes he has to. He genuinely believes it's right in order to stop all the insane crime happening in Hell's Kitchen. So it gives us a good, different view of Matt himself, by showing us how aggressively different Kingpin is. And I think that's why there was so much focus put on him last episode, because they wanted to make that difference clear, and I think they succeeded. Now, we're clearly heading into, like, the main meat of the season, I feel. I don't know exactly where it's going to go, but I feel like we're going to really start, like, getting going. We've kind of had these early episodes to establish things, to set things up, to really prepare for everything. But now that Kingpin's been introduced, now that we've seen how different he is compared to Matt, we have to really get the ball rolling. And I think this is a good point to do it. We're almost at the halfway point. Episode 6 is next week, and I think that something's going to happen. Maybe they're going to meet, or maybe there's going to be, like, some kind of, like, big thing that goes down to where they're going to have to meet. I don't know. But I think things are going to really escalate from here on out, which is good and what I'd like. But I've also really enjoyed the setup. And just as a reminder, next week will be our final week for Daredevil for now. We are going to be taking a break after episode 6, just because this is the kind of series that I do not want to, like, go too heavy into at a time. I feel like it would end up being like Doom Patrol, where I would get super burnt out on it, and, like, it's a lot. It's like, for these being double length run times, and for the heavy nature of this series, it would be just a lot for me to be able to handle. I've talked about this plenty of times on the channel, but I don't know if it's because of my autism, I don't know if it's something else. But if a series tends to be, like, way too heavy, trying to do a consistent reaction to it might sometimes be difficult for me. Because it affects me on a mental and emotional level, to where it's like, it can get me really burnt out really quickly, but also just make me, or put me in a bad headspace that I really do not like being in. It's the entire reason I dropped Doom Patrol. It just left me in a state that I was not comfortable with, even though the series is really good. but I couldn't subject myself to that. It was really negatively affecting my mental health, and sometimes you just have to put your mental health first. And so I think the best way to handle it moving forward with a show like Daredevil is to take breaks like every 6 episodes or so. With the seasons being about 12, 13 episodes, that's basically just once a season, so not a big deal. We normally take breaks between seasons anyway for pretty much everything, with some rare exceptions here and there. But yeah, I think it's just going to be the best option. So we have this week and then next week, and then we'll be taking a break. That'll also go into us cutting down on the schedule a little bit. So Daredevil's not going to be replaced by anything. It's just being, put on hold, and the schedule's going to start being cut down in the first week of August. So, yeah. That being said, let's get into this episode and see what we have in store. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So Vanessa seems to be fully on board with Fisk. She's clearly on board with what he does, and sees his side of it, basically. He's talking about like how everything he does, all the bad things he does, are for like the greater good, for helping save this city, take down these gangs, etc. And he even like brings up, oh, the boy who was kidnapped from his father was beaten before him and everything. It's like, I'm taking out the people who did that. And she's like, good. So she's fully on board with it. I also do think that Fisk knows that the guy at the restaurant there ratted him out. I think he knows that, and it kind of played with our expectations, thinking he was going to pull out the gun, but he pulled out the envelope for him. I think he still knows. He just didn't want to do anything in front of Vanessa. Meanwhile, we see that he had been working with the Gauss and sent a suicide bomber, which is kind of fucked for a number of reasons, to take the Russians out. And it took most of them out. Vladimir managed to get away, but was attacked afterwards by Matt. And Matt got caught at the end, so yeah. I assume he's going to get away. Something's going to happen. He's going to get away, because he's not going to be taken in. That's just not happening. And we also had the B plot of this episode, which was Foggy and Karen. And they're helping out this lady who's supposed to get repairs in her building, but they stopped. And so they have to go to this law firm that Foggy and Matt used to intern at, and deal with Foggy's ex, who's one of the lawyers, one of the team representing the people who are supposed to fix it. And so through this, we get to see Foggy really stand up. Like, the moment where he stands up to his ex and is, like, telling her how they're going to handle this situation is, like, amazing. It's such a great moment for him. Develops him fantastically. And makes me like him, like, so much more. Like, I like the goofy side to him. I like the, like, awkward, kind of nerdy, goofy side that he has. It's cute. It's adorable. But seeing him actually stand on business and fully go in on the lawyer side to him, it's like he gained this almost instantaneous self-confidence that really just, I'll be honest, is kind of a turn on. It's like, you saw the way Karen was looking at him there. It's like, no, I was kind of thinking the same thing. It's like, that's kind of hot. Self-confidence is attractive to me. Especially when it's utilized for helping people. Foggy was like tapping into this self-confidence for the sake of standing up for this woman against, his ex, this other lawyer who was being extremely racist and just terrible in general. And showing his self-confidence and standing up for her, standing up for, like, getting her name right even, which I can't remember the name at the moment, mostly just because I'm terrible with names. But I like that he was standing up for getting her name right and making it very clear he wasn't going to stand for the way that she was talking about her. It's just like that was a great moment for Foggy. And then seeing them go to the lady's house afterwards and offer to help start to fix things up themselves, amazing as well. Fantastic to see them helping out, like, very directly. And it was just a really cool moment. We also see that Foggy and Karen kind of treat this as a first date. And we're, like, seeing how the chemistry that they've shared, even in, like, past episodes and everything, is really starting to come to a head and forming a relationship with them. Which I'm all for. I think they have great chemistry. I think that it makes sense. And I really like seeing just how they interact and how they talk during the date scene before everything goes tits up, because apparently these explosions are happening all over the place, and one of those is very close to where this lady's place is, and so they get caught up in the blast. And I don't think anyone's, like, seriously injured. The lady definitely had some injuries from the explosion and everything, and I think maybe glass had come at her, but she wasn't, like, horrifically injured. And Foggy going to check to make sure other people in the building are okay too. It's like, I love him. It's like, he makes sure that this lady's taken care of. He makes sure Karen is there with her, but he has to go check on others as well, because he's just a genuinely great person. It's like, this episode really did some heavy lifting for Foggy, and, like, really elevated him as a character for me. Because prior to this, obviously I love Fisk, obviously I love Matt. Foggy and Karen were kind of, like, just there for me. I didn't dislike them by any means, but I wouldn't say I was, like, huge into them. And honestly, I'm still not huge into Karen. I'm not quite there yet with her. But this episode was definitely the one that did the heavy lifting for Foggy. It's like, this one focused on him quite a lot, gave him a lot more depth, a lot more character, a lot more, just quality to him. It made him come across as just even better as a person than we already knew he was. But it's like, again, seeing him stand up for her against his ex, it was like just such a great scene. It's so powerful in the best way. And on top of that, speaking of relationships, we also see that Matt and Claire are definitely, like, acknowledging their feelings for each other, sharing a kiss and everything. But in the end, like, they kind of have a little trouble there too, because she's like, I don't know if I can be with someone who's like going too far and everything. And it's like, you have to know your limits, you have to know when to draw back and everything. And his response to is basically like, well, yeah, you shouldn't be with me. It's like, dude, you took the wrong lesson from this. She's telling you that you have to have a limit. You have to have, like, rules in play here. If you take it too far, it's just going to end up hurting you and others. It's going to put people in danger. And it's going to take a massive toll on yourself as well. mentally, emotionally, and physically. And we've already seen this like occurring. Hell, his reaction there is already proof of that. Matt is in a little bit of trouble. And it's of his own doing. And I understand his motivation. His motivation is fine, and I even think like him trying to do this is fine. But like Claire's making clear, he has to have his limits. Otherwise, it's just going to make things worse if we're being honest. Well, maybe not worse, but it's not going to make things as better as he wants and needs it. And yeah, this episode definitely feels like it's getting things going. Things are progressing a lot further and faster than I honestly expected in terms of the Russians and Fisk and kind of the war going between them. And it's going to be interesting to see like how this continues, because I don't see like these other gangs really making it past this season, you know? And I think there's 3 seasons of this original series. So it's like, I assume Fisk is going to like really just take over fully as the villain after this. But I mean, I don't know. We didn't get anything with Benny, I want to say his name was, the reporter. We didn't get anything with him and like that story with Karen in this episode. So I assume we'll continue to touch on that in the future, but I'm very curious where that goes too. And yeah, this was just another really good episode. And I've said this before. It's like these episodes continue to be really good, but they're so heavy. They're so like, they get pretty dark and intense, and it does take a bit out of me. And that's why I'm saying like, oh, after episode 6 next week, we're going to take a break from this series. We'll come back to it in the future. I just need a little bit of time to kind of recuperate from it, because I don't want to I don't want to become like disillusioned with this series, because it becomes a little too much for me. So we'll take a break. We'll come back to it. But next week we're still getting to episode 6. And hopefully we leave off on a really good note. But in the meantime, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode, episode 5 of Daredevil. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See you all next time.